Up to 95% of every purchasing decision is based in the subconscious mind. Now, knowing that, branding is the process of helping you to tap into the subconscious mind of our potential buyers and customers. And in fact, Interbrand talks about that your brand accounts for up to 1/3 of shareholder value. It's this intangible asset to your business that can help you achieve rapid growth, also establish market leadership in the industry. So now I want to take a step back and say, well, what is brand? What is branding? You know, virtually anything can be branded, whether it's a company, it's a product, it's a service, it's a person, or if it's a geography, a location or a city. But very few people can give you a very short, concise, and clear definition of brand. So I'm going to give you the definition that I've used in my career. So what is a brand? Well, brand is not your logo, it's not your tagline, it's not your website, it's not the name of your products or your company. Brand, in the definition that I use in my career, is 3 words. It's a desired perception. So if brand is a desired perception, then you technically don't own your brand. It resides in the minds of the people that you're communicating to. And so therefore, branding is the process and the discipline of creating and shaping and influencing that desired perception that you want to have in the marketplace. Now, this is distinct from what you actually do for a living. No one really cares about what you sell, make, or what you have to offer. They care about the perception on how they make you feel and the perception of the value that you add in their lives. So let me give you a couple of examples. So FedEx, they're in the business of delivering packages, but their brand is around peace of mind. They want you to perceive that FedEx will help me get my packages there on time. Now let's look at Harley-Davidson. They're in the business of motorcycles, but their brand is around freedom on the open road. Now let's look at one other example, Disney. Well, while they have amusement parks and Mickey and movies, their brand is around wholesome entertainment. And so there's a clear distinction between what you actually do as a business and the perception, the desired perception that you want to have. Now, this perception is important because it's that emotional, intangible concept that you want to own in people's minds. And like I just said before, is that 95% of all of our purchasing decisions lives in the subconscious. So let me talk to you about our next point, which is the branding process simplified. Now, knowing that your brand is a desired perception, how do you go about creating that desired perception? So I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. One is more of the overall brand building continuum in the process. And the way that I see that is across 5 different phases. In the first phase is what's called the discovery phase. This is really getting fully immersed in what you're trying to do as a business, the vision for your business, the objectives and goals. But it's also looking at what are the opportunities in the competitive landscape in which your business operates. And also it has to do with looking at your target audiences. What are the insights and the data that you can glean from the people that you're trying to target? Now, all of that comes together in gathering all the data points to help you identify your brand positioning, which moves into phase 2. Phase 2 is about taking all that information and analyzing that to crystallize your brand into a positioning platform and into your version of freedom on the open road like Harley-Davidson, or your version of Disney's wholesome entertainment. Simplifying your brand into 2 or 3 words into a concept that drives everything downstream your organization. So there's the visual component of your brand, like your logo, the color palette, the typography style, the photography style, the overall look and feel of the brand. Then there's the verbal component, which is the language. What's the voice? The type of words that you use, the way that you name your products and your company and your services. That's the whole verbal component. So that wants to get expressed in phase 3 into a distinguished look and feel and voice of your brand. So that's the creative phase. Phase 4 is the activation phase. So now that you've built this system, you've developed your positioning, you've developed the creative assets, now you want to activate that brand in the marketplace. And what does that mean? Well, we look at typically the high priority touch points. Where are your target audiences? Where can you make the most impact on getting your brand out there? Now, this is important because as branding strategists, we help you identify the key vehicles and channels in which your brand needs to exist. Not every marketing channel or vehicle is important for your brand. We want to look at where can we maximize your resources and your time and energy on getting in front of your target audiences. So focusing on the high priority brand touch points in the activation phase, usually that's your website. For some people that might be their trade show banners, or for some companies, as in a brick and mortar business, the actual environment and the store and the signage where people walk in. So knowing where you're going to activate is the key to building your brand and activating your brand in those different areas. Then phase 5 is now managing your brand over time. Branding, in my mind, is a lifestyle. It's an ongoing process. It's something that a business embraces and constantly evolves over time. So once you've activated the brand, you want to constantly manage and pay attention and listen to how the market is responding to your brand. So gathering ongoing feedback, insights, and input from your customers is key. Every strong brand listens to the marketplace. So management is phase 5. So in short, phase 1 is the discovery phase. Phase 2 is the positioning phase. Phase 3 is the creative phase. Phase 4 is the activation phase. And phase 5 is the management phase.